Welcome to the Process Breakdown Podcast, where we talk about streamlining and scaling operations of your company, getting rid of bottlenecks, and giving your employees all the information they need to be successful at their jobs. Now, let's get started with the show.
Chad Franzen here, co-host of the Process Breakdown Podcast, where we talk about streamlining and scaling operations of your company, getting rid of bottlenecks, and giving your staff everything they need to be successful at their job. Past guests include David Allen of Getting Things Done, Michael Gerber of the E-Myth, and many more. This episode is brought to you by SweetProcess. Have you had team members ask you the same questions over and over again, and this is the 10th time you spent explaining it? There's a better way and a solution. SweetProcess is a software that makes it drop-dead easy to train and onboard new staff and save time with existing staff. Not only do universities, banks, hospitals, and software companies use them, but first responder government agencies use them in life or death situations to run their operations. Use SweetProcess to document all the repetitive tasks that eat up your precious time so you can focus on growing your team and empowering them to do their best work. Sign up for a free 14-day trial, no credit card required. Go to sweetprocess.com, sweet like candy, SWEET process.com. Amy Walls, the president of Thimbleberry Financial, takes client service to another level. She genuinely believes that through education, her clients will be empowered to achieve their financial goals. It's Amy's desire to remove the complexity around planning and investments and create a more simplified world for her clients. Amy, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So tell me more about what Thimbleberry Financial does.
We do both financial planning and wealth management for our clients. And the way I look at it is that, growing money to grow money doesn't make a lot of sense. You grow money for a purpose. And so our job is to help clients figure out what that purpose is and then align everything towards achieving that.
What would you say is kind of the biggest pain, problem, challenge that your company solves for your customers then?
We work a lot with clients in healthcare and in tech. So on the tech side, it's definitely just the complications of equity compensation and just cash flow and stock that is changing their situation, their tax picture on a very consistent basis.
To give people context, how many people work at Thimbleberry Financial? And then maybe you have an example of a client?
So we have 6 full-time team members.
Okay.
And an example of a client, like the size of a company that you might work with. We work with individuals and families.
Oh, individuals and families. Okay, great,
yes.
Great.
Yep.
Okay. So how did you discover SweetProcess?
Yeah, I actually discovered it through my business coach. And I was resistant to it at first. I said, I don't need that. We've got a operations manual in a Word format that, I'm part of a training group of other advisors. There were 40 of us at the time. Now there's 100 and some of us, and we had 40 each year. And my operations manual was the one that always got held up as a good example of an operations manual and still gets shared as a good example. And so I said to my business coach, mine's the good example. I don't need this. And she showed me another version. I said, well, I definitely don't want that one. And so, okay, this one's kind of cool. It's better. Fine. I'll try it reluctantly. And I wouldn't turn back.
What did you use to kind of document procedures previously, or hadn't you?
Word, Microsoft Word. Yeah, we literally had it in a Word document.
So, what issues did you have as a result of using that method?
It wasn't clear. Everybody, when they wrote what they did, wrote it in a different way, and then people had a hard time following it. You couldn't check anything off. I will say that's a big piece of just, that check mark that we make in SweetProcess. It really is about accountability and a commitment to our team and to clients. So,
what would you say was kind of the point where you were like, okay, we need to find a new way? Was there like a low point or a breaking point where you thought we needed to change things up a little bit?
We were having quite a bit of turnover, and that turnover, a lot had to do with it had to do with a couple things. One, our team members being so small, we're wearing too many hats, right? And keeping track of what I have to do with this work, but then really I have a whole other hat over here that has a whole different body of work, and not having an easy reference for what had to happen made that hard. So I think with I was looking to solve that. And that's where my business coach said, you need a better documentation system. Like I said, I was reluctant. I didn't think it was broken. But once I got in there and I started plugging in what we had in our Word document, I went, oh, okay, this actually is smooth. I can easily reference things. I can search for a single word and find everything that has it. Slowly was adding our team onto it and getting buy-in.
Was there anything, so when you saw kind of SweetProcess compared to Word, was there anything, you were skeptical about regarding SweetProcess, or maybe you had some common questions at the beginning?
I was just skeptical I needed it. Oh, right. I just truly didn't think it would make that big of a difference. And I didn't think that the checking off of things was hard. I didn't think remembering all the pieces was that hard for our team. But once we really started plugging things into it, and I found, and the team was finding, these other documentations, they're missing so many steps. And we found part of the thing that makes our processes and procedures more difficult, and I'm comparing this to other advisors I know, is that because we do the comprehensive planning and we do wealth management, there is lots of crossover between things. And so if we do something over here on the investment side, it affects the planning side. And so the investment people may not be dealing with planning, but they have to know enough and they have to have details in order to go update the information so that the planning people actually have it when they're working on it. And it was things like that nobody remembered because they weren't touching that world.
Sure. So once you decided to go with SweetProcess, how did you kind of implement it?
Yeah. First, I started using SweetProcess right as the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So things were busy, they were chaotic, but I just started plugging information, what we had, into it. Our team started editing information. I didn't ask them to write anything in it at first. And then it was just an expectation that people start using it. We have a CRM, and we tried to, it was difficult because it was like, you're running the CRM that has your tasks in it, but now you need to go assign it to yourself in SweetProcess. And what we ultimately did, the team sat down and said, this isn't working. We're not doing it consistently. Some people are, and they're having really great results, and others aren't. So what do we do? And our team decided that all of our tasks had to have a SweetProcess link written into them, and we would hyperlink to that SweetProcess. And the solution there was great because if I created the SweetProcess, then my paraplanner couldn't get into it because of the permission settings, but I could get into theirs. And so by hyperlinking it, all of our team members were able to access each other's work. So, if I was out and there was a next step in one of my tasks that needed to be done, someone else could jump in and see what was next and take care of it. So it made it much easier.
How would you say that SweetProcess has helped or changed your onboarding process with new employees?
It's pretty fabulous. Our new employees say they have never gone through a more organized onboarding anywhere. Wow. We have one or two SweetProcess procedures that they work through. They start on their first day. When they start, we literally have them get access to three things. One is their email, one is SweetProcess, and one was our Slack channel, but now it's Teams because we recently switched. Mm-hmm. And so with access to those three things, we assign them their SweetProcess, that is their onboarding. We say, you know how to reach us if you have questions. And we're still all virtual, and they start working through it. And it just keeps expanding. And now I think that procedure takes people about 2 full days to work through. And it's a combination of videos, activities, doing their new hire paperwork, that sort of thing.
What would you say, given all that, how it's changed your interaction with staff, or how you deal with staff, and also onboarding? What would you say is kind of the biggest game changer that SweetProcess has provided you as opposed to where you were before?
Yeah, we now have a training procedure. So part of that onboarding, they learn about how our training works. And so we use SweetProcess in conjunction with Monday.com. And every new hire has a board that lists basically everything in the company you might need to be trained on. And through that, they're assigned different things that they need to learn. And they go through and they first read and get familiar, watch videos, whatever the SweetProcess contains. They get familiar with it. They have a trainer that they say, hey, I'm done with this. The trainer then is able to ask them questions about it. So then there's some interaction around what they learned. And then there's given tasks to start working on that procedure that are then monitored. And then until the point where they can now do it on their own.
So how did it save? How has that affected like your time or your energy?
Yeah, well, we're still not big enough. And some of our hires are new enough that I still have to be the trainer on a lot of things.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it has definitely made it so that my time is not needed to explain the same things to every team member, right?
Sure.
Because we now make, and really, I think this is because of SweetProcess, we now make a lot of videos around training. And those those videos get added to SweetProcess. And so just the questions get answered. We actually have a team member leaving today. It's their last day. And she spent the last 2 weeks, did an awesome job going through, and all the procedures she touches, and she's the only one who touches those. She made new videos because things outside of our control had changed. And she made new videos for everything so that the people taking on that work would know what to do, and they feel very prepared.
Wow. Very nice. Okay. I have one more question for you, but first, how can people find out more information about Thimbleberry Financial?
Yeah, they can give us a call at 503-610-6510 or visit us at thimbleberryfinancial.com.
Final question. What would you say is maybe the next step that somebody listening should take to streamline operations?
I have recommended SweetProcess many, many times. And I think having an open mind to that what you see as the obstacles may not be the obstacles that your team is seeing, and your team may not be able to articulate the obstacles that they're running into. And so giving them an avenue where they can read something, watch a video about something, reference outside materials is really valuable for them to feel empowered to do it right, and that they have all the tools. I think the other thing is that, team members want to do the right thing. And by having SweetProcess, at least for us, all of our team members have the ability to fix whatever's broken that they touch. They don't have to come to me and say, hey, Amy, fix this. They actually are right there. Oh, our financial planning procedure on X has an error in it because something changed. I'm just going to go over here to the clean copy, and I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to send it through for approval. I'm not going to mess anything up because somebody's actually reviewing this before it gets put into place, and they're able to share what they know, and they're able to make things better.
Hey, Amy, it's been great talking to you. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Process Breakdown Podcast. Before you go, quick question. Do you want a tool that makes it easy to document processes, procedures, and/or policies for your company so that your employees have all the information they need to be successful at their job? If yes, sign up for a free 14-day trial of SweetProcess. No credit card is required to sign up. Go to sweetprocess.com, sweet like candy, and process like process.com. Go now to sweetprocess.com and sign up for your risk-free 14-day trial.
Hi, this is Owen, the CEO and co-founder here at SweetProcess. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast interview, actually, you know what I want you to do? Go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. That way we get more people aware of the good stuff that you get here on this podcast. Again, go on to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Looking forward to reading your review. Have a good day.